Welcome to the Vetiver Vibes podcast. We're your hosts, Nikki Fraser and Rachel Dean, certified clinical aromatherapists. We are excited to have you here on today's episode where you know that you'll get the best essential oil scoop.
This episode is brought to you by Essentria, a leading online school for aromatherapy. If you want to learn more about Ayurvedic Indian head massage, check out the courses at www.schoolofessentria.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Vetiver Vibes. Nikki Fraser here with Michelle Faulds. Happy to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
After creating, scaling, and selling a digital marketing company with her husband, Mike, Michelle delved even farther into researching and using different healing modalities. The death of her mother in 2021 fueled her passion to live a longer, fuller, more comfortable life, and she now shares that with others through her online store, Healing Haven, a source for castor oil packs and other healing tools. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. This is great. This is exciting. This is my first podcast I've done under Healing Haven. I did them under my other business, but I'm a podcast virgin for Healing Haven. So
It's great. It's great. And I mean, and we have known each other for years through all kinds of different modalities. And when you started Healing Haven, I was absolutely ecstatic because I love castor oil. I have been using castor oil for years, and so it's definitely a passion. So when I saw you starting to do all kinds of things with castor oil, I was like, yay, somewhere local, which is fantastic. And so before we dive into things, I always like to ask all of our guests, what is your favorite essential oil? Because I know you do use essential oils.
I do. And we have some products with essential oils in them. I thought about this. I knew you were going to ask me this question. I've listened to your podcast. And I've got to pick two. I cannot choose. So clary sage has always been my favorite oil. I find it really like levels out. I can have the worst day, and if I have a bath and throw some clary sage in, everything turns around for me. I love it. But since I've been doing Healing Haven, I've really been drawn to sandalwood. I put it in my magnesium spray, which we now sell that version also. But it just smells so yummy and earthy and grounding. And I find myself being drawn to sandalwood in my diffuser all the time. So I haven't blended the two, but that might be interesting.
Yeah, see how that goes with them together.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'd love to hear your story. I know mentioned it real briefly in the intro, but your story of how you came into using castor oil more, and go from there.
Okay. So later in life than a lot of people, I found out I had endometriosis, and I was struggling with a lot of pain. Before I even knew what it was, there was a lot of pain, and my doctor wasn't giving me really any sort of treatment other than here's surgery, which didn't work. We'll do another surgery, which I didn't have a lot of hopes for. So I started seeing a naturopath, and she suggested them. I kind of went, yeah, whatever. It's kind of woo woo. That's not me. But the more I joined some groups online, and a lot of people were getting some pain relief for their endometriosis. Now I have stage 4, so it's like everywhere. Surgery wasn't helpful because they just couldn't get it all. But I would go to work and I couldn't even sit down in a chair. My tailbone would hurt so bad. So I would go home and I would put my castor oil on. At that time, I didn't know about packs. I had a piece of organic cotton and a plastic bag.
I think that's how most people started out. And I mean, that's what I remember back in the day, like as a child too. Like that was the standard.
Yeah. I just didn't want to make a mess, right? I wasn't thinking about the plastic, whatever. But anyway, I would go home and lay down for like 2-3 hours in the afternoon when I couldn't sit anymore in an office chair with the heat and the castor oil on, and it worked. I'm like, okay, so this gave me a little bit of faith. So I went back to my naturopath and did some other things. And about that time, we started looking into fertility stuff, and she suggested using castor oil packs to help build up the lining of my uterus before doing IVF. So I did that too. And interestingly enough, like at age 48, I did an IVF transfer, and it took the first time, which, I mean, I have so many friends and relatives that have tried, and it's heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. So I'm really, really blessed that worked for me.
Mhm.
I can't say it was the castor oil, but it didn't hurt. And, it definitely helped relax me as well. Um, so that helped. Um, but I then found out about the castor oil packs. I did find some online. I found some on Amazon. I found another company that did them. And they were claiming to like cure everything. Right. So I bought them, tried them, but they were expensive, like really
Mhm.
expensive. And I just, I don't know. I thought, someday, maybe in another life, I'll look into doing this in a way that's more accessible for people. And I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then my mom passed away when my daughter was just 3 months old. And I decided I just did not want to live the last portion of like the last 25, 30, whatever years of my life in the kind of pain and discomfort that my mom was in. So I
Mhm.
started using more. I got rid of toxins in my home. I was using castor oil packs on a regular basis. I lost 100 pounds. Castor oil was part of that journey also. It helped put my body into a parasympathetic state. I'd sleep with it on my belly every single night and get a good night's sleep, and it helped with cortisol levels. So, I mean, there isn't anything I don't use it for now. My husband has hip pain last night. I put it on him too. So, it's just such a gentle modality. Even if it's not helping you, it's not hurting. And I find most times it helps with anything that I've tried it for. And I just wanted to bring that to more people at a little bit more affordable price point. I feel like I improved the design of what I was using before. Um, and then we just expanded into, we don't sell anything that we didn't try ourselves or use ourselves. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so obviously a lot of work with castor oil.
Yes.
Can you share what are the benefits of castor oil?
Okay. So the big one, the one that most people email me, message me asking about is pain. Pain and
Mhm.
inflammation, which I mean, the two go hand in hand. If you've got inflammation, you usually got pain. So that is the big one. There are others, obviously. I mean, it's approved by the FDA. You can take it internally as a laxative. I don't do that. I'm a little scared yeah, no, it's not just not going to happen for me. But mostly pain and inflammation. It does help to relax you. Um,
Mhm.
Skin softening, moisturizing, liver detox. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I was talking to you earlier about I have plantar fasciitis. I put it on my feet before I go to bed at night and I wake up and the pain is like 75% less than if I don't do it. So yeah, there's a huge laundry list of things that we can use it for and lots of recipes. If you Google online, I mean, you can make your own pain rub. As you mentioned to me when we were talking before the podcast, add cayenne pepper and make your own pain rub. Body scrub with add some sugar, coffee grounds. It's just good for so many things.
Absolutely, yeah. I know we teach in our aromatherapy course because it is a carrot oil that we do talk about, and
Mhm.
we do share and teach. And yeah, like you mentioned, the internal use laxative, and I always remember the old wives' tale of you hear anyone where they talk about like if they were home from school, it was here's a teaspoon of castor oil, and you just
Mm.
empty out the system, and that'll help you get better faster. That was always the old treatment.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I
yeah.
didn't have that, but I definitely heard the stories of it. And it's often in like those the pregnancy brews at the very end, which I don't recommend doing actually for several different
No,
reasons.
no.
But definitely talk to your midwife or doctor. Don't just do it on a whim because it's not necessarily recommended. But yeah, absolutely. Like I use castor oil packs. I started get into it actually after my first IVF journey, my first
Mhm,
surrogate journey, where my naturopath recommended because I wanted to detox from the meds because the meds are very heavy
mhm,
and strong and can do a lot on the body. And so after the pregnancy, I wanted to be able to find a way of helping to support my liver and
mhm,
detoxing and things like that. And so she had recommended the castor oil packs, and that's how I had kind of slowly gotten into it. I did a little bit, and then I think it was after my second I used it sporadically, but it was really after my second journey that I started to get into it more and more and more. Um, but I was using it more for like face washing because oil, right? So if
mhm.
you want to take the oil off the face, I was using castor oil, sometimes mixed with jojoba oil. Um, but and hair mask. We were talking about hair masks. I have really, really dry scalp, itchy scalp, and I find as I'm entering perimenopause, I didn't realize itchy scalp was also a one of those fun symptoms of perimenopause. I'm like, this is why my like it's been itchy, and I'm noticing
Yeah.
like more. I don't know if I'm just because I'm so aware, but noticing all these little things. So I often try to do a castor oil hair mask once a week with to help with that. Like there are, like you said, so many different things. I've got a what is it? A cyst that is
Uh-huh.
literally in the corner of my eye. So a lot of times to get rid of cysts, like it's surgery type thing. I've had another one where they had to surgically remove it, but due to the location of literally in the corner of my eye, um, obviously surgery isn't an option really. My optometrist isn't aware, but that's just a like, let's put some castor oil. And it has it, like, I notice it shrinks when I actively use it. So there's
Uh-huh.
so many different things that I often share about it too, because I do find there are so many benefits, and it's analgesic, it's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. There are so many great benefits when it comes to it.
I gotta ask you, were you a little nervous the first time you put it like near your eye, in your hair, on your skin? Because I was like, my skin's gonna break out, my hair's gonna get greasy. I was really scared. I mean, none of those things happened, but I was nervous at first to do that.
I wasn't nervous. Like for the hair, I know some people can like put it in the morning and they just do like small amount. I can't do that. I have baby thin hair. Like my
Mm,
ponytail is literally the size of a dime. I like what you see is it. That's it. I have no hair. So to put anything in, it's greasy instantly. So
mhm.
I cake where it looks like I just came out of the shower, but it's pure oil. And I'll usually try and let it sit for an hour, and then I have to do like 3 shampoos to get it all out. So I know, but that's just my own scalp and hair knowledge that I know what I can and can't. Um, on the skin, I wasn't worried. Around the eyes more so, just eyes are very sensitive, but I know I like there's no essential oils that are in it, because if as soon as you put essential oils, you don't want that anywhere near the eyeballs. So if you
No,
have a
no.
pre-mixed blend that includes essential oils, please don't put those around your eye. You want to stay like out of the eye socket is always
Mhm,
the biggest thing. But pure castor oil in itself, slightly hesitant, but I'm not putting it in the like I'm putting it in the corner where some of it
mhm.
does get in the eye. But I have also heard a lot of people getting rid of like eye floaties by putting it in their eyes and things like that. But a lot of
Yeah.
people still get those results just putting it on their eyelids
That's what
right
I
before
do for
bed.
I get those eye floaties since I was in a car accident and I had a bad concussion. I get eye floaties only in my right eye. Weird, but only in my right eye and in bright sun. But if I do what you said on my eyelid before I go to
Okay.
bed, I put some on both eyelids and I don't really rub it in, but I don't cake it on either. And I
Yeah.
sleep like that. I don't even, I mean, we have an eye mask, but I don't use it for that to keep it on. I guess if you're sleeping on your face, you might want to. But I do find it helps with the floaties and also with dry eye. I do get dry
Yeah.
eye from allergies. Um,
Yeah. I've heard that a lot too. Another one too is tinnitus. I've heard putting it uh like some on a cotton ball and putting it in your ear. I've heard that is another big one for like again like that internal of like put it in your ear, do you not? We usually don't recommend putting it in things like that. So but having some on a cotton ball and putting it inside your ear that way,
mhm.
kind of like the old school. I remember the olive oil for an earache also was a big one. You just put on the
Yeah.
cotton ball, put it in, and you just kind of let it sit there,
Mhm.
things like that. So it's yeah, because it's as soon as you start talking about putting in eyes and ears, there's an extra risk of just an extra risk to it.
Yeah, I have people email me all the time and they'll say, "Can I put this in my eye? Can I put this in my ear? Can I take it internally?" It's really important to point out that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a naturopath. I can't prescribe or diagnose or really give you any medical advice whatsoever. I can tell you what worked for me. I can tell you what my customers have reported, and the things that castor oil is known for.
Hmm.
And but yeah, I mean, don't drink it. I mean, I get it. It's a laxative. Don't drink it. Don't put it right in your eye. Don't put it right in your ear. I like your idea with the cotton ball.
Hmm.
Since going through perimenopause, my ears are dry, just like my scalp, and they get itchy.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if that's just me but I mean, I just noticed all these little things, like you
Hmm.
said, but a little bit on a cotton ball is going to add a bit of moisture without like, yeah, I don't want to cause any problems for anyone. So, I mean, if anyone asks me questions like that, and I mean, I can tell you what worked for me, but I can't actually tell you what to do
Yeah,
medically.
absolutely. And we don't know, right? You don't know their full health history as to
Exactly.
what could or couldn't, right?
Yeah.
Especially there are a lot of people with digestive issues now, which it could
Mhm.
cause Crohn's, IBS, SIBO, all kinds of things that it could cause an inflammation, like it could cause a spike. It could, like, you don't know. And that's, like you said, we can't diagnose, treat any of that type of stuff because we aren't anyone's primary healthcare team.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we get the same thing with essential oils of like, well, we need full health history and things like that.
Yeah. Even
It's
if
more
like,
complex than
in,
just black and white, yes and no.
yeah, even if intuitively I have an idea of what could help, I mean, I can't really,
Yeah.
um, I can't
Yeah.
prescribe any type of
No.
treatment for anybody. I don't have those qualifications. And I mean, I don't know if I'd want to be a naturopath. I don't know if I want to be responsible for that. I give them credit. I mean, they have years and years of education. I have years and years of experience, and years of marketing experience, and they all come together into Healing Haven.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely a naturopath or your primary health care. I mean, if I were to ask my doctor about castor oil, he'd be like, no, 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 don't do
You
that.
wouldn't know what.
Which is
Yeah.
why I have a naturopath and an
Exactly.
osteopath, and I kind of take what works for me from all of them,
Yeah.
and I would advise anyone to do the same. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, are there any contraindications or people situations who shouldn't use castor oil?
So using a castor oil pack every night, I've heard of some people getting um not really a rash, but a bit of irritation. Maybe they're not washing it. You can, if you're having a hard time getting the castor oil off in the morning, you just want to use a little bit of baking soda with your body wash or even just water to get the residue off of your skin. But I mean, I use it almost every night, probably 5, 6 nights out of 7. I use it and I don't get that irritation, but it can happen if you're using it frequently and not wiping off the residue or having a shower in the morning. Um, Other than that, again, I have to defer to people's healthcare providers, right? I wouldn't recommend taking it internally at all unless a doctor, a naturopath has told you to do that. That's at your own risk. But other than that, it's not a mainstream lab tested. So there aren't like warnings that we can put out
Yeah.
about it. I think you try it a little bit in moderation. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. But it's a very gentle modality too. I mean,
Hmm.
you can put it on your liver every night.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of anyone having a problem with that.
Yeah.
Definitely in pregnancy, I would consult with your care provider for sure.
Yeah. I've
And
always
if
heard
you
it's
have
not
any
recommended in
No, if you
pregnancy.
have any health conditions that are, I mean, if you have liver cancer, check with your oncologist, But for the average Joe like me, it's a pretty gentle treatment.
Yeah, absolutely. The only other thing, the pregnancy, yeah, was absolutely was the one thing. Don't use it while pregnant. And the
Mhm.
only other thing I often hear people, and now I didn't have this experiences, was some herxing. So that reaction of going too much too quickly,
Mhm.
and that's where maybe, start with, and if you're using it as a castor oil pack, start with it, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then kind of slowly increase. I went straight. I don't like overnight. I'm a day person wearer. For anything, I'll do more of like my face, I'll do my arm, I'll do different things like that. But for the castor oil pack itself, I usually do it during the day. And when I put it on my hair, it's usually first thing in the morning before I shower, things like that. But I just
Mm.
put it on and then I wear it throughout the day because I don't want to sleep with it on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it does improve circulation to the area.
Yeah.
So when I was first doing them, um, I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I said, I had the plastic on there and a heating pad that plugged into the wall, and I'm pretty sure it was organic fabric, but I really have no idea. But anyway, I have IBS, so I would have it on my belly because I was trying to help the pain from endometriosis. And I did find some of my IBS symptoms were a little more extreme than usual
Okay.
from the increased blood flow to the area. However, I don't know, was that just a bad day for me anyway? Would I have had that anyway? So it's kind of hard to narrow it down unless
Hmm.
it's something that's happening all the time. So if you have a medical condition, you're right, exercise caution, ease into it. Because I've been using them now for 10 years, I mean, I probably could wear it 24 hours a day, and I already know I'm not going to experience
Yeah.
any side effects or skin irritation or anything.
Yeah. Have you heard of just putting it in the belly button?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
So now I've seen on like TikTok and Instagram people putting it in their belly button with like these little band-aid things on top to hold it to
We were
hold it.
talking about that actually a few weeks ago when we saw each other in person about that. And I was like, because when I put it on, I usually will just add a little bit amount to my belly button just while there, but I won't necessarily just do. But yeah, you were mentioning just those, it's like a band-aid just over it, which I think is so silly, but that's okay.
So to me, it's like a cocktail of like, here's something that you don't know really what's in it. What's in the glue? Is it latex? Is it what is,
Hmm.
I mean, I just don't know what's in those things. So I don't recommend them. If we're ever to carry them, I would know.
Yeah.
But we don't. I'm a little bit skeptical just because I don't really know what they're made out of. But as far as just putting it in your belly button and massaging it, I've seen people talk about drastic results. It cured my constipation. Um, it's not going to hurt by
Hmm.
any means. And there are definitely nerves and things in around your belly button that
Yeah.
it can help. Um, it goes everywhere in your body, right? Like that's your, what are they called? Portal of life, right?
Yeah.
You're right there. So I think just the act of massage alone there with the castor oil is beneficial. I don't think it's as effective as wearing a castor oil pack because the natural compression causes some heat, which increases absorption. But it definitely can be helpful if it relaxes you, do it. If you
Hmm.
find it helps your symptoms, do it. I don't personally, if I do a massage around the belly button, I use essential oils with a carrier oil. It can be castor
Hmm.
oil, fractionated coconut oil. I like the thought that, it's connected to every part of your body. And I personally haven't had drastic results like they talk about on TikTok, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and if you're putting it over your liver already and then
Mhm.
just scooching over and just adding a dab into your belly button, like you said,
Yep.
it's doesn't hurt necessarily one way or another at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean,
So,
depending on your size, the pack, like,
yeah, for me, it
the
does
pack
cover
is
my
big
belly
enough that
button.
it really, for me, it covers, like, I don't know if you can, yeah,
Yeah, and say
it
I've got mine
covers
too.
my belly button and my liver when I
Yeah,
put it on. So I kind of treat both areas at the same time.
yeah,
I mean, it depends on your size and how you wear the pack. Some people like it wrapped around the back a little bit, but
yeah,
I mean, you definitely could treat both areas with the pack.
absolutely. Yeah, awesome. And it's also, I actually really love using it, combining it for like skin issues too. So if you have eczema, psoriasis, dry
Mhm.
skin,
Mhm.
making a blend with castor oil for that, I find is always so. Usually, like if I do have some extra dry skin somewhere, or if the odd time my watch gives me eczema, I haven't had it in years and years, but I also stopped wearing watch for years. But I used to, I remember in high school, get eczema patches under my watch all the time
Mhm.
because I never ever take my watches off typically. So it would kind of develop. And so I noticed a while ago, I was starting to get just a small one. So after I was done rubbing it, applying some to my pack, I just took it and I rubbed it over my eczema patch on my arm, and it was able to help it pretty quickly.
I have a
So
really funny eczema story, just real quick. My friend, a fellow business owner here in London, Ontario, she makes pickled eggs. Country
mm,
Girl Catering. She makes pickled
yes.
eggs. I am obsessed with pickled eggs. Like I'm trying to get my protein in because I'm in perimenopause. And so she's making these pickled eggs and I ordered like 3 jars. And then 2 weeks later, I ordered three more. She's like, how are you eating? So I was eating like probably 2 to 4 pickled eggs a day.
Nice.
All of a sudden, I'm allergic to my wedding rings. So it was the acidity in my body from all the vinegar made me allergic to my wedding rings.
Oh no.
Where my I was breaking out. It was itchy. It was red. It was sore. So I'm not giving up my pickled eggs, but I did the same thing that you did with the castor oil. I just put a little bit on underneath, and you see, I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
there. I think I had a reel that I did about this. I didn't say why. So many pickled eggs, but I had some eczema there, and I put castor oil on. I also sometimes will put a bit of tallow on there too if I don't have castor oil, and I find
Mm.
that helps too.
Hmm.
But yeah, don't eat 4 pickled eggs every single day.
That's so funny. That's so funny. But it is, like there are so many different benefits to castor oil. The other one I've often heard too, if you have thyroid conditions, adding some to your neck and
Mhm.
then putting the pack on and sleeping with that. I've heard a lot of people it has helped with their different thyroid conditions as well, helping bring levels back into balance.
Mhm.
So absolutely.
Another great use for that thyroid pack. I thought I had one here. I do. There it is. I know that's what it's originally for, is here. I put it on the back of my neck.
Mm.
I put the oil on, I put it on the back, and I do the little slide closure. I'm on my phone a lot. I'm on my computer a lot. I'm kind of hunched over.
Yeah.
Those muscles, those 2
Mhm.
cords that kind of go up into your head from your shoulders, I wear that on there, gone. Like, it totally relaxes those muscles. So if you get one in your castor oil pack kit and you're like, I'm not going to put it on my eyes, my thyroid's fine, it's great for a sore, stiff neck.
That's a great idea. And we're on our phones constantly now. We are on our computers. Like there are more and more jobs computers. We are walking less, standing up less. Like it's just the way of the world now, unfortunately. And you
Mhm.
hear about the hunch more so, which is why I always try and remind myself of shoulders back, shoulders back. I say it like probably 20 times a day because now that I no longer work in the school system and I'm walking around, now being at a desk, I'm like, I do notice it. So I'm constantly like shoulders back. So that is I'm gonna have to try that. I never even thought that's a great idea.
And I mean, you can even put it on while you're working, right?
Yeah,
And just,
exactly.
yeah, you're a daytime castor
Yeah.
oil person. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Well, and without getting TMI, but it was a comment that was made to me actually a while ago of like someone didn't want to wear it at night because they didn't want it interfering with sexy time. So it was like, you don't want
That's
to
a good
wake up
point.
or after you just put it on and then, your partner wants a little bit of sexy time and it's like, "Oh, let me just take this castor oil pack off," right? Kind of
There is nothing more irritating than washing my face, putting my serum on. I put my castor oil pack on, and my husband's like, "Hey, you want to
yeah,
cuddle?"
right?
No.
Right? It's like, why couldn't you ask me that like 5 minutes ago
I
before
mean,
I
it's a pretty
put it
castor
on?
oil pack, but it's not really.
Doesn't
Maybe
it
we need
doesn't
a
set the
lace one. We
mood.
need to come out with a lace version.
There you go. Could you imagine? That'd be hilarious. That's just it. So, and so yeah, so I had told that person, well, I wear mine during the day, so maybe if that's an option, and I just have it tucked in under my tank top, and it works,
Oh
still
yeah, you
works
can move
great.
around freely. I did
Yeah.
have one before that when it would get heavier with oil, it would kind of flop down. But this
Hmm.
one, we've done the I call them ties. They're button straps at the top
Yeah.
and bottom. So I mean, our ribs are a different size, a lot of us, than our hips. So it's nice
Yeah.
to have that adjustment, not in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put it on at like 7 at night. I don't go to bed till 10 or 11. So I walk
Yeah.
around all the time with it on too. So yeah, you easily could wear it during the day.
Yeah. And I know, like, I've probably had 5 different castor oil packs, more than that over the years. And so some are thicker, some are thinner, some have pockets, some don't, some have the ties, some have Velcro, some have all kinds of different things. But yeah, I know the one that you guys have, it's nice and thin and
Mhm.
lightweight.
Mhm.
So that I do appreciate that. It's not quite as thick of some of the other ones, which kind of is a little bulkier because I do wear it during the day. Like I could notice a little bit more bulk under my shirt versus this one here. So that was nice. Did you want me to show how I put it on?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
sure. I
Yeah.
don't, I'm a very open book. Anyone who knows me, I on podcasts have listened, things like that. There's never a TMI question for me or anything like that. So I'm more than happy to show and I have everything in front of me. So this is, I actually cut the strings because they were quite long for me. So I cut them down. But so this is just the pack, and then there is a zipper that you can heat up the little not bean bags, but kind
Rice
of like
bags.
that rice bags.
Yeah.
I'm like, reminds me of old bean bag. And then pop those in so you get those extra warmth, especially if you're laying down with it. It is really, really nice. And I've already used it many times, so I only need about not even a tablespoon is typically
Yeah.
what I put in.
Yeah.
First time you need a little bit more, and I usually just kind of go back and forth in the middle a little bit.
And now when she says a little bit more, it's like 2 tablespoons.
Yes, two
Not a half a
tablespoons.
cup or anything
No,
like that.
and like that's it. And then
Yeah.
I kind of just pat it around. Stay away from the edges though, because you don't want it to start going through. And I actually have a tank top and everything on, so nothing will show. But as you can see, don't mind my belly. But and then I just everything, I just pop it on, and it is nice having the top and bottom because they stay top and bottom versus kind of some. What hard to do with my earpiece on. And get it in place, and then I do my bottom one. And I usually just kind of tuck it under my pants a little
Yeah.
bit, and then I always wear a tank top because I usually don't wear a bra, so it is my bra. And then I tuck my shirt in, and then I have my normal shirt on top, and like there's absolutely no difference. Like you can't tell at all
Yeah,
that I'm wearing one.
you wouldn't know that you're
No,
even wearing that. Yeah.
no. So it's fantastic. And now I have it on and I'll take it off when I go to bed tonight. A lot of times I knew we were doing this, so I didn't actually put one on this morning. But usually like when I get out of the shower in the morning, I'll throw it on. And usually around supper time, I get annoyed of it being on and I'll take it off around then. Or just at any point in the afternoon, depending on what I'm doing. If I do a workout in the afternoon, I'll take it off right before that. And yeah, I did notice I went quite a while without using one, a few months. And all of a sudden I noticed like my digestive was different and things like that. And I really started putting it on again probably about 2 weeks ago. And that first 24 hours, that next day, it was like, and all right, I'm nicely cleaned out. I'm good to go. I'm like, my energy is back up. Like you feel different when your body is functioning how it's supposed to.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that we put our bodies through.
Mhm.
And if there's a way that we can support our bodies naturally without doing extra harm to them. I mean, I saw something the other day on Instagram. I'm a scroller. I'd sit there and scroll at night and watch the reels. And somebody was saying if you go to your doctor for a medical condition and they don't ask you about your lifestyle, how much you drink, chemical exposure, what you're eating, then they call them a drug dealer, which that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
But my first line now is natural modalities. If that doesn't work, there is a place for Western medicine for
100%.
sure. But yeah, I mean, even my little girl's 4, if she's constipated, I mean, a little bit of castor oil on her belly. I put the eye pack on her belly. She thinks it's really cute. She's got a little face on it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, sometimes you can get out of doing it and you don't realize how much it was helping
Exactly.
and until you pick it back up again. I mean, I went a whole year without doing a castor oil pack because I thought I didn't need it. I didn't have endometriosis pain anymore. That was just leftover hormones from like being pregnant. So
Yeah.
once that wore off, I needed to do that again.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed too, just when I saw the lip gloss, we had track and field 2 weeks ago, I think. I was helping out my son's track and field. And it was finally we weren't sure. It was the week after it had stopped snowing here in London. We had snow into way farther into April than we should have, and not just a little snow, like accumulating snow.
Yep.
And it was like the first nice hot sunny day where we're like, whoa, this is amazing. I totally burnt my lips. Being outside, on the shot put, I was helping doing shot put, and that night my lips were burnt, which I didn't think was really possible. Like I was fine everywhere else.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so for about 3 days straight, I had the lip gloss that has castor oil in it, and I think frankincense is what you had. I don't
There's
remember.
arnica in
Or
that.
yeah, arnica. That's right. I
Yeah.
was like, I know there's a bunch of different things in here I was looking at. But yeah, for like 3 days straight, I would just sit here at my computer and just zoop, and then it would feel so good.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like it's just that like you can put castor oil all over, so don't be afraid to try it out for any kind of health and wellness type conditions.
So right before we taped this podcast, I had flyaways on top of my hair, so I just grabbed some castor oil and just glued them down. My
Nice.
mom used to
Yeah.
spit on her hand and put it in your hair and
Yeah.
castor oil.
Yeah. A little bit nicer than the spit shine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So before we sign off, any other thoughts or comments or recommendations that you have for our listeners?
I would recommend that everybody try castor oil in some form or another. If you're not into the whole liver support, digestive support, if you're more of a beauty product kind of person, put it on your face.
Mhm.
Use it if you've got, as a cuticle oil on your cuticles. It's really, I mean, it's all natural, it's inexpensive. We have our own serum that we see by
Yes,
my
I
blur
do have
there.
mine. I
Yes.
have mine here too.
And I mean, I was really afraid to put it on my skin because my skin broke out for years. I had to use Proactive or I had acne. So I'm like, if I put this on my skin, I'm gonna have acne so bad. So I waited and waited and waited, and I made a friend try it first. My skin has never been better. So the more I was just using it straight. So this is a blend that we've made with jojoba and frankincense as well. But I use this every single night. And you don't need to be someone that's into all that, like my naturopath says, the woo-woo stuff. It's so inexpensive. I mean,
Yeah.
just try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dry
absolutely.
feet, sore feet. I mean, there's so much that it's good for.
Yeah, and especially as we go into the summer months, I find, um, you know, we get the dry skin in the winter because we're
Mhm.
inside the recycled air and that. But then we get the dry skin in the summer with the heat, but then we didn't re-nourish our skin between the seasons. So it's kind of just like that lingering dryness. And then if you burn your skin, then it gets, that it's dehydrated. That's what a burn is. So,
Yeah.
having that to help rehydrate is definitely good.
Yeah.
And yeah, your comment about, having it on the face really reminded me of people don't realize how skin actually works. And so when we're used to thinking of all these commercials where it's like wash your skin, but what that does is actually it strips the oils, your natural oils from your skin, which then signals to your skin, make more oil, make more oil, make more oil, make more oil. And then that is when you typically then become oily, greasy skin, which then does cause breakouts because you're aggravating your skin too much. Versus we know that oil and water don't mix, first of all, also. So to get the oil off your face in a gentle way is using another oil. So that is why using an oil is actually really, really good to wash your face. And
Mhm.
I do either the castor oil, jojoba oil, or a blend of both when I
Mhm.
wash, and then when I put it back on afterwards, because jojoba has the closest oil to our natural sebum. So
Mhm.
that's why jojoba is really nice. But then castor oil is very nourishing and um, helps keep the moisture in. I'm
Mhm.
losing track of what that word is right now,
Yeah. It
but
is
which is
non-comedogenic
yeah,
as well. That's the word I was looking for earlier. It's not likely to cause
no,
breakouts of any sort.
no.
I love that the younger generation is trying all this stuff.
Yep.
Most of my customers are over the age of 35, but since we've launched the serum, we're seeing that change.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. And the only other thing I thought of is when you are looking for castor oil, make sure it comes in a glass bottle. Please make sure it comes in a glass bottle and also that it is hexane free. You want the cold pressed hexane free. And funny story about glass bottle. So I had gotten one years ago. It was in a plastic bottle. It was just a place here locally, distribution place, and they ship everything out in plastic. And I didn't transfer into a glass bottle. And my kids were quite a bit younger, and so they were often in my things. I would find, a lipstick makes a great marker to write on the bathroom counter with. And I'm like, I so rarely wear makeup. It's really just for videos. And I'm like, please don't waste my lipstick, things like that. And so I came into the bathroom one time and there was oil everywhere. And I'm like, guys, come on. Don't touch mama's oils. Like,
Um,
please just be careful. If you want to have oil in something, just let me know. It wasn't like, it was just the castor oil, but it was all over. And they were like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I'm like, always blaming one another. No one's going to
uh-huh.
take responsibility, which is normal. And I was like, I don't care who did it. Just please don't do it again. So I wiped it all up. I cleaned it all up. And I think it was like a few hours later. They weren't home though. The main thing was they weren't home. But I go back in and there was more oil on the counter. And I'm like, okay, nobody's home but me. And I cleaned this all up. So how is there more oil on the counter? And it was seeping through the plastic container.
Wow.
So this is a reminder as to how powerful castor oil is.
Yeah.
And also why, in the olden days, I'll say, when you put plastic on it, you don't want to use plastic because, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
not staying in it as long as, you don't have it on your body as long as it's staying in the container. But it will seep through and it will break down that plastic and it
Yeah.
will it absorbs in what it's at. So it'll start to pull in those little plastic particles and absorb it
If
into
it'll pull the toxins out of your body, what's it pulling out of that plastic? Right? I mean,
exactly.
if I wish it didn't, because I would love to sell it in plastic bottles. We have breakage when we ship
Right.
occasionally, even though we wrap really well. It's heavier. It's
Mhm.
not convenient to have it in
No, it isn't.
plastic. But no way. No way, no how will we ever sell castor. And please don't buy it in plastic bottles.
Yeah. It does. It's yeah, so that was my fun story of plastic and castor oil do not mix. It wasn't the children who made the mess. It was just the plastic bottle that it was seeping
That
through.
time. That
Yes,
time.
that time. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michelle, for coming on today's podcast.
Thanks
Really
so much for
appreciate,
having me.
yeah, everything castor oil. Great oil. If you haven't tried it, please try it. And thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Vetiver Vibes. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for spending your time with us here at Vetiver Vibes. This episode was brought to you by Essentria, a leading online aromatherapy school. Don't forget to check out some of our free resources at www.schoolofessentria.com.
If you love this episode or you got a lot of value out of it, please make sure you share it with someone in your community who you think would enjoy it too. If you haven't already subscribed or reviewed the show yet, you can go on over to your preferred streaming platform and hit subscribe, then leave a review. This is the best way to help support us, and we appreciate it. Email us with a screenshot of your review, and we will send you a free guided meditation as our way to say thank you.
This podcast is for information purposes only. We are certified clinical aromatherapists and holistic health professionals. If you have a medication concern, please refer to your health team. Everyone's health is unique to themselves, so the topics and suggestions stated may or may not apply directly to you.